Hello. It is a joy to bring warm greetings to the leaders and advocates of the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center as you celebrate 100 years of extraordinary service to the people of San Francisco. Thank you, Regina Marsh, for your wonderful leadership building on the center's century of progress to nurture, inspire, and empower. Since its founding, the center has been a pioneering force for social justice for countless families. Your community-based model of service has also helped advance opportunity and build a brighter future for all. From early childhood to grade school through early careers, the center's powerful youth initiatives have transformed lives and given countless young people the tools and mentorship they need to thrive. Your beautiful new John Burton apartments are offering our city's most vulnerable young people transitioning out of foster care a safe space to live, learn, and grow. And through your committed service, you are giving hope to our seniors, securing resources to overcome health and economic challenges, and providing tools to stay active and engaged. As we face the ongoing coronavirus crisis, which has disproportionately impacted the Black community, your committed work on the front lines remains crucial to ensuring countless San Franciscans receive the vital food and services needed to keep them safe and healthy. On behalf of the United States Congress, congratulations on 100 years of impactful leadership. Thank you for the honor of representing you and for all that you do every day to strengthen and enrich our community.
Good evening, and welcome to the 100th anniversary of the Booker T. Washington Community and Service Center, and let me begin by thanking our dynamic Speaker of the House, Mrs. Nancy Pelosi, who represents the 12th Congressional District, but more important, has been a champion for the causes that this center represents. My name is Timothy Allen Simon, and I'm honored and humbled to be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. And next, we're going to have a dynamic staff member here at the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, Mr. Marquise Ingalls. Let's hear from Marquise.
Hey, it's Marquise Ingalls, and you are now at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. We here at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center are so excited as we celebrate 100 years of commitment to our communities. That is 100 years of senior programming, housing for foster youth, after-school programming, as you can see. We are so thankful for your donations because without you, none of this is possible. Our senior program is offered to seniors who are 55 years or older. Our housing is affordable housing units for foster youth who are transitioning into successful pathways into adulthood. Our after-school and summer enrichment program are for these babies right behind us. They're working. We offer a food pantry for all of our clients so that we can nourish the belly in order to nourish the mind and the spirit. Our goal here at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center is to nurture, empower, and to inspire future generations to come.
A society or culture that doesn't honor art is a brutal society because it's saying your being is not valuable. What's valuable is only material. If you think of the removing the art from the world, we're not recognizing what human beings are. We have a heart and a mind. They too are in a balancing act. If we ignore the heart, and there's a lot of that, it is a huge imbalance. We want humanity well fed on every level. It's a human right. What we call classical dance is not a style that's a result from choreographers in 17th or 18th century, but it is a science of movement, a playing field where there are no limitations. Art making is what tells us about the heights of human possibility. One of the most powerful political statements is love, truth, and beauty. They exist. It's been an honor for Lions Valley to be in residence at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center since 2018 through our Heart with Lions youth program. Congratulations on reaching this 100-year milestone and for a century of dedicated and inspired service to the community and to our youth. May there be many more years to come.
Hi, I'm Deirdre Thompson, Vice President of Member Experience at Redwood Credit Union. We've been part of the San Francisco community since 2000, and for us, being part of the community means we partner with organizations that make a positive impact in the lives of the people they serve. Redwood Credit Union congratulates the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center's 100-year commitment to empowering individuals and families by providing them with the services and support they need to become self-sufficient. That's why I'm pleased to announce that Redwood Credit Union is offering a $15,000 matching grant to support the mission of this community jewel. Will you join us by donating today and letting these kids and families know we care about their futures? Thank you.
Bravo! Bravo, my Lord. Thank you, Mr. Alonzo King and the Lions Ballet, for your brilliant performance and contribution to our community, and particularly the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. Now we are so honored to have the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of California, Eleni Kounalakis, who is giving us her time this evening. And again, Madam Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much.
Hello, this is Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis. The Booker T. Washington Community Service Center has been part of the San Francisco community for 100 years. For an organization to stand the test of time really speaks to the vital role it plays in the community and to those who have supported it along the way. The center was one of the first social justice organizations in San Francisco on the front lines, fighting for justice for all. Originally established to support African American soldiers in World War I, the center has constantly grown and evolved beyond providing support and resources to the soldiers and their families. It has become a cornerstone of the community. They've done this by offering services like after-school programs and other enrichment programs for senior citizens, adults with disabilities, children, and transition-aged youth. These programs help to combat poverty, substance abuse, homelessness, and financial instability. They make sure the basic needs of our most vulnerable are met, like physical and mental health, nutrition, and education. It is my hope that the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center continues for another 100 years to help those most in need achieve a happy and productive life. Thank you for being a part of this virtual celebration, and if you're not already, I encourage you to get involved. Congratulations to the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center on serving the San Francisco area for 100 years.
I'm Clint Riley. My wife Janet and I are thrilled to be able to support the Booker T. Washington Community Center on the occasion of its 100th anniversary. Booker T. Washington is part of the DNA of San Francisco. It actually started right around the time of our last pandemic, and there's very few organizations in this city who've survived those 100 years and are still thriving. The programs of Booker T. Washington are so impressive, serving families, children, young adults, and seniors. I'm very pleased to be able to support the Booker T. Washington Community Center on its 100th anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our Victory Club sponsor, Mr. Clinton Riley. Clint, you do so much for so many, but especially what you and Janet are doing for the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Next, I am introducing someone that doesn't need an introduction, but I'm so honored to be chosen to give her an introduction, and that's the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, Miss London Nicole Breed. London, we are so proud of you. Mayor Breed, you shine across this globe and how you've managed this pandemic, and most importantly, how you have led this city. Your life story is a testament to us all, and particularly your experience here at the Booker T. Washington Community Center. Kim and I have known London since she graduated from UC Davis and have watched her rise through politics and education and the arts. You are amazing, and thank you so much for your time, but most important, your example. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, the Honorable London Nicole Breed.
Hi, I'm Mayor London Breed. It is my honor to join you at Booker T. Washington Community Center's 100th anniversary celebration. What an incredible milestone, and what a testament to the lasting power and spirit of this center. For a century, this center has brought our community together. It has supported, inspired, and empowered lives, including mine. The center was my old stomping grounds, a place I spent a lot of time as a teenager. Like so many young people in the Western Addition, to connect with friends, to learn, and to be at home with my community. When I was 14, I was selected for the Mayor's Youth Employment and Training Program. The center was where I came for my orientation so that I could earn my first paycheck. That was the first step on my journey that led me to where I am today, serving as the first African-American woman mayor of San Francisco. And today, with your help, Booker T. Washington can continue to foster the next generation of leaders, the next great doctors at UCSF, the next successful CEOs of a major company, and yes, the next mayor of this incredible city. With your support, this center will continue to be a place where our young people can learn, play, and socialize. Our seniors can connect, and our families can thrive and succeed. A few years ago, Booker T. Washington took its mission to the next level by providing childcare and housing for some of our most vulnerable residents, including kids that were aging out of the foster care system. And we know how housing is so important to keeping our community strong. And that's what Booker T has always been about. Our community has faced so many challenges over the years, including redevelopment, which destroyed neighborhoods and scattered families, and decades of discrimination and racism that have left so many people behind. But this center has stood the test of time. Its legacy is strong and lasting. It has been our beating heart, and it needs our support now more than ever. So let's make sure that this incredible organization is here for the next 100 years. Thank you for your support. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and together, we will make sure that Booker T continues to change lives for generations to come.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. As always, you dropped the mic. As we proceed, let me tell you a little bit about myself and my connection with the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. My mother, Betty Opal Simon, actually served as the director of girls programming here at the Booker T. Washington Center. But the amazing thing about her tenure here is she started as a bus driver and part-time teacher in the Head Start program, which was a preschool that came out of what historians now call the Great Society programs during the Civil Rights Movement. I would come here to visit Mom from school as she was working with the various girls groups. And it was so exciting seeing Lefty Gordon training Phil Smith, who went on to play with the Golden State Warriors, hearing an amazing band called Granny Goose and the Soul Trips as they practiced here at the Booker T. Washington Center, or watching the various dance groups like the Wajumbe Dancers and others hone their craft. But most important, it was a place where I felt safe. Oh, don't get me wrong, my mother kept an eye on me. But there were so many positive activities that me and my brothers and sisters would be able to participate in while Mom was working. This center has such a rich history in San Francisco, and that is why it deserves your support, and that is why it's receiving my support. So Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, thank you for taking this young boy and helping me in my journey to become an attorney, the first African-American appointment secretary in the history of the state of California, and a California Public Utilities Commissioner, and today having my own law and consulting firm. It's centers like this who make children see themselves as what they can be, not what society too often tells them what they think they should be. So God bless you, Booker T. Washington, and your memory and your legacy in the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. Next, we have someone else who does not need any introduction. But be that as it may, I am so honored to introduce now the former mayor of San Francisco and the longest-standing speaker of the California Assembly, Willie Brown Jr. Any of us who've had the blessing to be in the time of this great man are enriched by his brilliance, his wisdom, his tenacity, and oh yes, and his style. Mayor Brown is a national figure and highly sought after for his political views, and we all read him every Sunday in the San Francisco Chronicle. Mayor Brown, on behalf of the Booker T. Washington Community Center, its board of directors, and all of the people it touched, we want to thank you for your time and commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Willie Brown Jr. Thank you.
Booker T. Washington Community Center. It was not so many years ago that I have totally forgotten. This place was my outdoor facility, out of my public housing home at 2547 Sutter Street, West Side Courts, as they're called, just 2.5 or so blocks away. My comment about Booker T is frankly not any different from a whole ton of people, real San Franciscans who lived in this city, who began their lives in the Western Addition, and who found this place as their home. Now I know, referencing back so long ago, there'll be some pipsqueak youngsters who would comment that I was probably here before Booker T. Don't accept Danny Glover's comments as being anything other than that of an assumed actor, buttressed by another assumed politician, Art Agnos, all meaning well for Booker T, but not so accurate because they didn't really have the experience that I've had with Booker T. Glover to a little bit, because he was just a kid when I first knew him, when I first saw him here. Booker T has meant so much to so many of us. And to have it now, where it's actually a place where kids that have no other place they can go, they can live at Booker T. They can literally become a part of what this place was about and the spirit of this place over a 24-hour period. That's how Booker T really was for many of us who didn't live here, but for all practical purposes, we really did live here. Booker T was that important. When Jim Stratton, the executive director of Booker T, a powerful, force person in San Francisco, and strangely enough, a black Republican, with relationships with the public schools of San Francisco, with relationships with the Archdiocese of San Francisco, and relationship with the elected official family. All in every way, he was able to have them participate in giving Booker T what Booker T needed for people like Danny Glover, for people like Willie Brown, for people like Eugene Brown, for people like a whole host of persons of color who lived in San Francisco and caused this to be the anchor tenet of their existence. I'm just pleased that after all these years, so many people still love Booker T and are still willing to help provide the resources for Booker T. So congratulations, Booker T. Although we won't be together physically because of the restrictions imposed by another person who appreciated the environment of Booker T, although she was so much younger, our mayor, London Breed. She lived also in the public housing in this area. She knew about Booker T, and on many occasions, you'd have to assume that she'd come through Booker T, as we all did. Booker T, keep it up. John Burton, whose name is on the structure that people live in here, who cared enough to use his political resources and his contacts to produce something wonderful for Booker T. I'm just proud, frankly, that Booker T remembered me and I could remember Booker T. After all, I coached the Globetrotters, the San Francisco Globetrotters, out of another youth center called Westside. And we used to wax Booker T's, literally all of its players. We were the best. But those were the good old days, Booker T.
Let's talk a little bit about the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center and some of the amazing programs that are here available to people throughout San Francisco, but particularly in the Western Addition Fillmore community. There are after-school programs, senior programs, homeless prevention, which is so critical for the health of our city. And we also have a transitional aged youth program. And you're going to hear from one of the residents here at the John Burton Housing, who is an active participant in the transitional youth program and other programs here that Booker T. Washington has. Jasmine has an amazing story, as you will hear, and we are so proud of her and what she has accomplished in her life, but more importantly, where she's going. Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine.
So how I came to be at Booker T. Washington was I found an application on Facebook through a message, and I pursued it. Well, I'm a former foster youth. I have lived out of state in Wyoming and Arizona, and I've also been in several different placements all throughout California. And at 17, I moved back in with my grandmother, and I was there for about 2 years, and I became pregnant. And so at 19, I moved into here, and the biggest need was independence, my own space to think and create and to be the mother that I was going to be becoming. Okay, so what does it mean to live here at Booker T. Washington is to learn how to grow up, learn those life skills that you need, have a safe space that is your own, learning how to communicate and be in a community, a healthy community with other youth who has gone through the same type of experience as you. What it means to live here is to learn how to be responsible. So living here, the programs that have helped me, I'm gonna start off first with Booker T. Washington, is they are very big on community. So around holidays and things of that nature, they have big gatherings where everybody can come with their family and kind of eat, and they have activities for us to participate in. So I really like that. Just because, if you don't have family, you can consider this as your family, and it makes it feel more homey. The food is free. Free food is always good. I really like the programs that Booker T work with on the outside, like Code Tenderloin. They are a very good program. They help with coding, they teach you how to do things on the computer, and they also pay you in the process. So that's a good program to, elevate your skills and get some extra money. I also like the after school program that they provide here for the children. They can come after school, while their parents are still at work, and do all the after school curriculum. So that's a plus. So what's next for me? Right now, I am a mother of a 3-year-old boy. So number one is, developing those skills as a mother and being very attentive and finding a school that's gonna tend to my son's needs. For me personally, I'm going to school. I am 1 semester away from graduating. Yay! So I'm gonna be graduating May 2021, so I'm very excited about that. I'm a peer advocate, and so I like to advocate for my peers, I like to advocate for my community, and I like to speak up for the needs of the voices of the people who don't have a voice. And kind of just getting more into tune with that, seeing how I can give back to my community, particularly people who are TAY youth, and be, a positive role model and some extra support. Booker T. Washington has absolutely helped me with being that example that I like to see in the world. I have been able to keep a clean house, take care of my child, get a job, go to school, and actually have a mind of my own. Like, okay, Jeremiah, we're gonna cook this tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about I'm trying to eat a certain way, but everybody else at the house I'm living is eating this and that. Like, just little things like that make the biggest difference. And also there's a gym downstairs, so being able to go utilize that gym, burn off some of his energy, burn off some of mine. Yeah, like Booker T. Washington has definitely leveled up my whole life. I'm only 23 right now, and I'm doing really good. And not only that, I got this housing in the midst of gentrification. So it was so many people losing their apartments, their housing. It was just a blessing that I was able to get my own spot in a good location in San Francisco. So hey y'all, tonight I'm asking for y'all to give to Booker T. Washington to support young people like myself develop into the adults that we desire to be. Booker T has helped me tremendously, and we need places like this to continue to keep going and moving forward. And so your contribution, your support, and your love would be needed. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from the chairman of the board of directors of the Booker T. Washington Community Center. He serves as the athletic director of Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, California. We want to particularly thank him, and I want to thank Mr. Carlos Reed, because I chair a board of directors also, the California African American Chamber of Commerce, and I know firsthand the kind of volunteer effort and devotion that it takes to do the right job, to do a good job. And Mr. Reed, you're doing an excellent job here at the Booker T. Washington Community Center. We also want to direct you to our silent auction, and you can find that at www.btwcsc.org. I'm going to say it again, www.btwcsc.org. Click into this auction and support Booker T. Washington Community Center by having the opportunity to purchase many of these tax-deductible opportunities. And yes, we also want a donation from you. We want you to give. We want you to give heartily. We want you not only to give your money, but give your friends and relatives money so that this amazing institution can continue to serve the community in the magnificent way that it does. It touches me so much to see the life-changing benefits that the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center makes possible for so many, from preschool to senior citizens to residents. Think about it. And yes, we want you to contribute, and we thank you for your contribution.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Reed, Board Chair of Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. We are extremely grateful that you are attending our 100th anniversary event tonight. As we're celebrating 100 years of Booker T. Washington being at the forefront of social justice in San Francisco, I would like to thank the entire board for their generosity and time. Our center would not be where it is today without your contributions. As we prepare for the next 100 years of Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, we must continue our path to match the issues of the day. Over my time on the board, this organization has grown to include this amazing building that includes housing for transitional age youth, a state-of-the-art gym, recording studios, a dance studio, and space for our youth and senior programs. My role as chair, along with the board of directors, is to partner with the CEO to shape the mission and vision of Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, including our current youth programming, fundraising efforts, and securing new partners who will help move the organization to new heights by focusing on board development and strategic planning. I didn't choose Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, it chose me. I say that as I spent multiple years in partnership with the organization during my time as athletic director at Drew School. The mission and programming spoke directly to my passions in supporting the youth in San Francisco. Being raised by parents who worked at and benefited from services provided by community organizations like Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, it's my duty to continue on that legacy in their spirit. I am passionate about the after-school programming that the center provides, as I have witnessed firsthand the changes that it has made in the lives of the kids who have attended. During this worldwide pandemic and social injustices that continue to happen in our country, I see the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center being the hub of information and support to all related issues that our community needs at this time. We have the infrastructure to support families, youth, and senior populations in San Francisco with our programming. As a board, we will start to begin working on a new strategic plan that will focus on the future of this great organization. We need your help to move us forward. With your contribution today, you will help us further our mission and help those most in need. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Farah Makras. I'm serving as a chair for Booker T. Washington's Community Center 100-year anniversary virtual gala on November 14. As you know, children and community are my first priority. In the past 100 years, Booker T. Washington has been a leader of serving the children and the community by providing aftercare program, summer camp, art, music, supporting our seniors, and many more. Booker T. Washington provides transitional housing, stands for racial equality and social justice. Let's help Booker T. Washington continue these great programs for our children and our community. Donate today for the future of tomorrow. On behalf of myself and Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, I thank you.
What an evening of dignitaries that we're having tonight, and I'm honored again to introduce the former mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, Art Agnos. Art Agnos has been an advocate for the disadvantaged and the underserved. He's also a very strong supporter of the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. Thank you so much, Mayor Art, and we look forward to hearing your words, but more important, working with you as the Booker T. Washington Community Center continues to serve the city and county of San Francisco, and particularly the Western Addition. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to join the many, many friends and supporters of Booker T. Washington on this very special occasion. 100 years of service to the people of San Francisco, serving children, elderly, families, singles, you name it. They've gotten education, recreation, and housing, all of the things that people need to live in a big city like ours. I'm so proud of them. And Regina Marsh has brought new energy and passion as we begin the next 100 years. I think she's been terrific. It's like she's been here all her life. You know all the programs, but my favorite is the John Burton Emancipated Youth component, which offers housing to emancipated foster kids who come out of the foster system and offers them the kind of support, education, recreation that they need to make their way in this city of ours. What a magnificent contribution. And I hope that's where my contribution tonight goes. But you know all those things. That's why you're here tonight, contributing your funds to this important organization. As you know, this is a virtual fundraiser, and so we can't be together the way we normally are at these events when we go to a large hall and sit down for a formal dinner. At those occasions, we get a chance to interact, see each other, check each other out. Well, here's some inside baseball. The politicians do that too. When we arrive, we look to see who's there, we check each other out, we see who's dressed best, and then when we start talking, we say, well, who gave the best speech? Who was the funniest? Usually, Mayor Willie Brown is the one who wins that contest. He's always the best dressed. He usually has the funniest lines. He is terrific at this, but not tonight. Tonight, I'm going to take him to the cleaners. Watch this. Because I am going to introduce for the first time my candidate for mayor in 2060. And here she is. Up. Athena. Now tell the folks, what do you think of Booker T. Washington? Hello. Hey.
2 thumbs.
There you go. Thank you very much, and good night.
If you ever receive the opportunity, please come here to the corner of Presidio and Sutter and look at this amazing facility, which is the Booker T. Washington Community Center. Right now, I'm sitting in a recording studio that actually can do full recordings. There's also an amazing NBA-level gymnasium, 50 units of housing, and a multitude of rooms and meeting spaces that not only are available for those who are part of the center, but are available for you to rent for your events and other activities. So please, not only support us by way of your contributions, but come and be a part of the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. I know it's difficult in these COVID times, but this too shall pass. And we look forward to seeing all of you soon here at the Booker T. Next, we have a profound artist, internationally recognized, by the way, a Morehouse man, Martin Luther McCoy. I became introduced to him once at a Juneteenth celebration on Fillmore Street, and then a few years later, he became a member of the SF Jazz Collective. I'm sure you will all agree that he brings it, and he brings it hard. Ladies and gentlemen, the phenomenal Martin Luther McCoy.
All right. Here's an oldie but a goodie. Whoa, mother, 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 there are too many of you crying. And brother, 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 there's far too many of us dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Father, 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 there's no need to escalate. War is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. There lies, there inside. Don't punish me with brutality. Just talk to me so we can see what's going on. inside. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so we can see what's going on. Well, I wanna know what's going on, yeah. Well, baby, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Come on and tell me now. What's going on? What's going on? Hey. It's getting hot in here. I'm just gonna let the sweat run on my face. Warms up my voice. We're gonna take y'all back a taste. Whoa. Hey, now baby, won't you fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars? I'd like to know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, well, baby, oh, hold my hand. Hey now, in other words, darling, kiss me. Whoa, and fill my heart with song that I may sing forevermore. For you are all that I've longed for, all I worship and adore. In other words, well, baby, be true. In other words, you know I love you. Whoa, wait, whoa, I know, so, well, now baby, won't you fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars? I'd like to know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Well, now, in other words, won't you hold my hand? Oh, in other words, darling, kiss me. Oh, and fill my love you. I know I love you now. Hey, hey, if you feel good, I wish you would now. Just rock with me one time. Wait, whoa, ooh. I really wanna tell him one thing right now. It's so quick, so fast when he pull it. Little cash made his full cash rain bullets. Baby boy might go San Francisco. Whoa, so quick, so fast when he pull it. Little cash made his full cash rain bullets. Baby boy might go San Francisco. Now what the Northern California like? The attitudes ain't very nice. Rugged and rude come as no surprise. Do what you gotta do to survive. Cause every day might be your last. It's hard to concentrate in class. Little Johnny be the first to blast. The only test that you need to pass. What the Northern California like? Max minister the game at night. It's so sinister she gave her life to the thrill straight from the pipe. Now pay attention, this is neighborhood business. No baby, this is not for beginners. If you ain't got the stomach, don't you dare enter. Them type of players, they'll have you for dinner. Oh, nah. So quick, so fast when they pull it. Little cash made his full cash rain bullets. Baby boy might go San Francisco. So quick, so fast when they pull it. Little cash made his full cash rain bullets. Baby boy might go. Yeah. We're gonna have some fun with this one. I dedicate this one to all of the soldiers that we have lost this year. Family members and loved ones that have gone too soon. Don't let your fear overcome your faith. This here. Well, ever since my brother passed, it seems a part of me been missing. Memories I can hear him laughing, talking tough in mama's kitchen. Hate that we will never get to make it right. No one knows how much I miss and love ya. Celebrate the beauty that you put in my life. I know you was the greatest, witness what you made us. Don't you let your fear overcome your faith. Call him, and he'll be there. Life is way too short, don't you hesitate. Call him, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, you see, mama miss you, daddy too. You know you've been forgiven, baby. They follow the golden rules now. I hate the game for taking my brother's life, but when you play, you pay the price. Change your aim or throw the dice. It's only you, but don't you let your fear overcome. Wait a minute now. See, life is way too short. Don't hesitate, God. And let me tell them about the fear. There's a fear of failure, a fear of flying. We all got a fear of the sickness, a fear of dying. But I'm fearless of the future, can't you see? And no one will ever know how my dear brother meant to me. I miss you, baby. I've been lost without you lately now. I'ma do what I gotta do, take care of the baby and all the payments, yeah. You may be gone, but you'll never be forgotten. Man, I miss my brother. There'll never be another, no. Yeah. calling, won't you call? Hey, we're gonna keep this party moving, y'all. My name is Martin Luther McCoy. I am your host for the moment. Booker T. Washington, Community Service Center. This one's for you. Yes, indeed. Hey. I didn't know what time it was when I met you. Oh, what a lovely time it was. How sublime it was too. Oh, I didn't know what day it was. I held your hand, warm like the month of May it was, and I'll say it was grand, so grand to be alive, to be young, to be mad, to be yours alone. Grand to see your face, hear your voice, tell me that I'm all yours alone. Oh, I didn't know what year it was. Life was no prize. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I'm wise and I know what time it is now. Take it away, Kev Choice. Say I'm all your own. Oh, I didn't know what year it was. Life was no prize. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I'm wise and I know what time it is now. 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 Was enough to know. Was enough to know. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to go, and it's time for y'all to dig deep in them pockets as we bring on the final presenter for the evening. And I want to thank you for your time and your attention. Again, my name is Martin Luther McCoy from San Francisco, and it has been a pleasure to perform for you.
Nurture, empower, inspire. What a great vision statement for an organization that serves so many aspects of our community as the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. Our next speaker fits so well with that theme because any of us who've watched the career of Danny Glover beam with pride. I'm also a native of San Francisco, and I remember seeing Danny here with other San Francisco State students when I was a young child and my mother worked here at Booker T. Washington. At that time, Danny was also a stage actor around the city, performing at the Bayview Opera House and other venues for upcoming actors and artists. And yes, Danny took his craft to a higher level, not only as an internationally recognized leading man, but also as an activist for social justice, dedicated to the empowerment and enrichment of African Americans and all communities that face the obstacles that so often society imposes. So it's so fitting to have this masterful artist, leader, and activist as our keynote speaker this evening for the Booker T. Washington Community Center. Danny, you hear it all the time. I remember your days at San Francisco State with my sister Demira Ahmad. You make us all so proud, and your better days are yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Danny Glover.
Hi, I'm Danny Glover, and you know where I'm at? I'm at the Booker T. Washington Center complex, right here. All I can say is that congratulations on the community and supporting and building this extraordinary center for community that you have now. It replaces another center that for the community brought people together across, not simply just in this area, because this is adjacent to the traditionally black community, but what brought people together from Bayview Hunters Point and the south side of the city, what brought people together who moved out in the new place of migration, Lakeview, brought us all together, whether it's Betrayal Hill, whether it's Lakeview, whether it's the Fillmore where we're almost located, whether it's new area where I moved in, my parents moved in when we bought a house in November of 1957. I can't remember when I first discovered this place, but it's somewhere around the 7th grade. That whether I wandered by here, whether I came in here because other people had talked about the place, or maybe I knew something about it. Maybe it's proximity to Sears and Roebuck's, where I used to go to Sears and Roebuck's at the time and do a little shoplifting at the time. So it brought me here. Now, that's some more evidence that people have on me that I'm not everything they think I am. But we used to go here and wander around here. However, I found the Booker T. Washington Center here in 1958. Whatever brought me here, it had been it remained a part of my life for a significant time. While driving a cab in 1976, 1977, I would, and it's not 78 rather, 1978 driving a cab, I would bring my daughter here, where she went to Head Start downstairs here. That's what I'm talking about, this center was. I knew it from a vantage point of coming here, playing basketball, at least trying to play basketball, because I didn't have no hops, you know. My problem was I didn't have no hops. If I had had some hops, you'd have my picture up on the wall for my hops, but I didn't have no hops. And but the thing about it was coming here, or for the dances, so I didn't have no hops, and I didn't get no dances when I came here either. So I don't have any glorious history to talk about in terms of the Booker T. Washington Center, but it was here. I remember also coming here when we had meetings here it was available for meetings when I was a student at San Francisco State, and the tumultuous times that we had San Francisco State in 1968, 1969, even 1967. What do we have here? It's a place to commune, a place to be in, a place where we felt a level of safety here, and that's the Booker T. Washington Center here. The memory for me, the iconic memory on that front right here on Presidio, right here outside the street, of walking through that door and walking through a door in which you had ownership to, or you felt ownership, or some love there, some connection there. And the list, the roster of men and women who came here, it's huge. We talk about Lefty, we talk about Eugene here, who was there, steadiness, a really, when he was here, and remembering him as a pillar of confidence, a pillar of caring, a pillar here, was able to say to a lot of us knuckleheads, man, chill out, be cool, all right here, and was able to say that, and you paid attention, because he was taller than ever you, and badder than you, and everything else. So all those things that I remember so much about this center, I'm so happy that what has happened here and what we brought here to the community, a re-envisioning of the center as its demographics have changed. The demographics and populations have changed, It's not the San Francisco that I moved in the late 50s, the San Francisco that continued to thrive and thrive in terms of African Americans and their own sociological makeup and being here. It's not that same, but it serves a new purpose here. And we have to make sure that the energy, the compassion, the sense of purpose that the past structures serve, make sure that it serves and do the work that for this community, this emerging community. There are people who come to San Francisco, are born in San Francisco, like I was born in San Francisco at the old Stanford Hospital, right on Webster and Sacramento. And so I was born here. So who come here and to find it home. I still call San Francisco my home. I say it's the only place I can live. It was the amazing contribution that the Booker T. Washington Center gave to my life, focus in my life, understanding community in my life that allows me to be here and be a part of this. Now, you may find that many other people who have some notoriety and who work in city government and who work in in capacities and who've retired in some capacities have come through this and will share the same story. It is a beacon for those young people, a beacon for those who are seniors, a beacon for those who are asking questions about my life. It's a beacon then, it's a beacon now. And keeping it alive, it's easy for us to forget something. Okay, you tear down the building, but you don't forget what's inside the building. You can't forget the soul inside, the purpose inside the building. That's what this is about. And I'm so excited to be here and so excited to be celebrating the 100th year of the Booker T. Washington Center. That's 100 years. That's older than the mayor. I mean, that's Willie Brown, you know that. That's old. That's old. That's older than me, and I'm closing in. I've got a little ways to go. I hope to get there, but I'm closing in here. But my life has been centered around this place, in this neighborhood, around this city. The people who work here today, they're different faces, but the same purpose, the same sense of purpose that existed then 100 years ago is the same sense of purpose that exists now. It takes contribution. It takes us acknowledging, yes, that 100 years is a long time, and many voices and many faces have come through this. But those faces brought about the fact that it lasts for 100 years. So we need your voice right here. We need you to be part of this new community, this reimagining of what this city can be. That's what Booker T. Washington represented for all those faces who came here in the first years of here, and who said, we got to establish a center of culture, a center where we can train and nurture our young people, a center where we can hold each other and embrace each other and the changes that were happening in the city. This place right here, the spot where we sit right now, where the original Booker T. Washington facility was a place that was the center of the changes that happened sociologically, politically in this country right here, and specifically in this city. This place right here. How many people have come through here and went on and can talk to you about the Booker T. Washington in relationship not only to their own life, but a relationship that is made for a century for this city, and to stretch out even further, that this century for this country itself. You know, the mayor, who's almost as old as the senator here, almost 100 years old, his contribution. So all of these things are important ways in which we can talk about and say that the Booker T. Washington belongs not to the past, to the present. It belongs to us now. And we need to use this particular moment to raise the resources necessary to service these young kids who are behind us, to service the hundreds of kids who come in here beyond them, to service not only the present, but also the future generations as well. This is what this is about. But we need your ongoing support. Make this your destination for your dollars, and that's important. Make the Booker T. Washington Center this incredible complex of bringing the city together, a destination for the resources that you have to help us move back and move further in the 21st century.
Yeah! Good job! Good job! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Good work! Thank you! Hard work! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! Thank you! Wow! Wow and wow. What a wonderful night on behalf of Booker T. Washington. Listen, Chris, we're filming. See, when you go live, people walk past your camera. It happens all the time. Listen, thank you so much for joining us tonight with the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. We are over the world with celebrating 100 years of serving this community. I want to thank all of our sponsors who stepped up and made sure that they supported what we do here at Booker T. Washington. I want to thank our board of directors and the committee that put this together. I want to thank you for your time, your effort, your talents, and your treasures to make sure that this event went off without a glitch, kind of, sort of. Like, I think I glitched a little bit right there. But thank you so much for being with us. And I want to thank the staff of Booker T. Washington. The people that put in... The people that put in the time, the effort. These folks believe in this mission and they live it every day. We have kids here. We have senior citizens. We have families that come to us in need. If you don't know, we have 50 units of housing, low-income housing, and 25 of those units are very focused on TAY, transitional age youth. If you saw the video, you saw Jasmine speak, who spoke from her heart about how Booker T. Washington has been the transition that helped her change where she's at today. I'm overwhelmed. I'm in the middle of a pandemic. It's like, wow, we are still able to reach out to each of us. You know, Booker T. Washington 100 years ago was in the middle of a pandemic, and here we are 100 years later, still here, willing to take part in the solutions that change the community. We are about changing the trajectory of our families and making sure that our families are self-sufficient, ready to tackle this world, and ready to be people that give back to where it's at. Well, we have all of you here. As you know, this is a fundraiser. We all know this is a fundraiser. But I was talking to the kids this week a little bit about that, and we were talking about superheroes, right? You've got Aquaman, you got Superman, and you got Thor, all of these superheroes from other parts of the world. But then I said, well, wait a minute, what about Batman? What about Batwoman? What about those that are from Earth? You know, they were in Gotham fighting crime, fighting for what's right, fighting for the people who really needed the help. And that's where I see Booker T at. But we also need you to be Batman. We need you to be Batwoman. We need you to be the superheroes that take Booker T to that next 100 years. And without you, we're not going to do it. We're talking about social justice. We're talking about families hungry. We're in San Francisco where we absolutely know that if we walk on any corner in this neighborhood, we're going to have to help somebody on that corner. Well, Booker T wants to be part of that solution. We can't be takers. We've got to be givers. So today, I'm challenging you to be a superhero on behalf of Booker T. Washington. Our website is www.btwcsc.org. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to be great. Huh? Silent action. See, it's live. Please go to www.bookertwashington. You can make a donation. You can participate in the silent auction, which is open till Monday, or you can decide to be a volunteer for the solution of our future. Batman, Batwoman, I need you. I need you. I do. I have to be all honest and say, I need you. And so this organization is counting on you to carry us to the next 100. So I'm Regina Marsh. I have the awesome pleasure of being here tonight with wonderful staff and board members that support us. And so again, I'm Batwoman. Are you going to be Batman and Batwoman for us? Please think about it. Please be part of the solution. We're counting on you. Good night, and thank you for being part of a wonderful event.